Well, first of all, I would like to thank Chairman McClintock for making the trip to Arizona and holding today's hearing. I strongly believe House committees should periodically come out to members' home states and hear straight from the horse's mouth the struggles our constituents are faced with on a day-to-day basis. Today's testimonies will provide our committee first-hand accounts of the grave impacts the federal government's actions are having on Arizona's economic and ecological health, and the information collected will prove invaluable in our fight to restore common sense to federal natural resources policy. I would also like to thank my colleague, Congressman David Schweikert, for being here. Over the past year and a half, David has been a staunch ally as we have tackled the far-reaching resources issues facing our state. Additionally, he has emerged as a prominent voice on the House Financial Services Committee, fighting for pro-market solutions to our state and country's foreclosure problems and advocating for policies that will help encourage job growth and economic expansion. Arizona, like many states across the West, is facing the brunt of the Obama administration's misguided policies. Nowhere is this more true than in the natural resources realm. One does not have to look far to see the struggles our constituents are experiencing. Last year, nearly 1 million acres of Arizona forest burned, one of the worst fire seasons in our state's history. This year has not been much better. Since late April, over 45,000 acres of forest in Arizona has been destroyed by wildfires. The largest one was a sunflower fire, which burned over 17,000 acres. The second largest, the Gladiator Fire, was 16,240 acres, and it injured 8 people, destroyed 6 homes, and forced the evacuation of 3 communities. Arizonans are tired of being victims of avoidable wildfire conditions. It is clear that the current process under existing federal law of planning, studying, consulting, litigating, appealing, and collaborating are failing us and our forests. These fires killed endangered species, destroyed habitats, and polluted our air and waterways more than any human activity. Additionally, they cost federal governments millions of dollars in immediate fire response and many millions more in restoration and rehabilitation. We must first remove bureaucratic red tape, reform forest health policy, and put a stop to endless litigation that stymies important forest projects. The Wallow Fire proved that stewardship projects and grazing projects were just what we need. I have introduced legislation, the Catastrophic Wildfire Prevention Act, that will streamline the review process and allow the U.S. Forest Service to utilize the emergency provisions of existing regulations so that our forests could be maintained and provide for economic opportunities for rural communities. I am also encouraged by the recent announcement that the Forest Restoration Initiative, known as FORFRI, will move forward. I hope litigation will not slow its success. These stewardship projects restore the environment, improve public safety, and put people back to work. Proactivity, treating our forests, is the only way to go forward. As I travel throughout my congressional district, I am frequently asked about the future of the Navajo Generating Station. Whether it's a farmer in Pinal County, a member of the Navajo Nation employed at the plant, or just the everyday citizen concerned about our state's water security. Everyone expresses concern about the potential job loss and economic impact of proposed EPA mandates on the Navajo Generating Station. For those who do not know, this unique facility provides over 90% of the power for the Central Arizona Project, or CAP, which is the largest supplier of renewable water in the state and supports over 80% of the Arizona's population and economic activity. Additionally, the sale of the plant's excess power is critical to the federal government's ability to uphold previously enacted and future Native American water settlements. In short, it is a vital and irreplaceable piece of our state's short and long-term water and power security, whose impacted stretches to nearly every citizen of our state. Last year, this committee held a hearing in Washington specifically on this issue, underscoring the importance of the facility. I look forward to hearing new information from some of our witnesses and remain steadfast in my efforts to ensure this vital asset does not become a victim of misguided policies or junk science. I would be remiss if I did not briefly mention one other issue that our committee just recently began delving into, but have vast impacts upon throughout our state. On March 16, 2012, the Secretary of Energy issued a memorandum for power marketing administrators. This memo, commonly referred to as a CHEW memorandum, has created a great deal of concern among those who rely on power marketing administrations, or PMAs, for affordable and reliable energy. The Secretary's memo directed the PMAs to act in areas involving transmission expansion, renewable energy, energy efficiency, and cybersecurity, and they are all laudable goals that on the surface I support. In fact, I've strongly advocated for the expansion of transmission on this committee. However, I believe the Secretary's means of these goals, the CHEW memorandum, would implement a top-down approach that could most certainly impose greater costs and risks that outweigh benefits and could force national diversity directives that could supersede or conflict with existing PMA statutory authority. I have recently led in a letter from Congress, respectively urging the Secretary to pursue meaningful collaboration with stakeholders, including ratepayers and Congress, prior to moving forward with these new initiatives. Currently, this letter has been signed by over 140 U.S. senators and congressmen, ranging from Chairman McClintock to Congressman Jim McDermott of Washington, a prominent Democrat in the House. Additionally, the House Appropriations approved a policy rider introduced by Congressman Denny Rehberg of Montana and supported by Arizona Democrat Congressman and Energy and Water Subcommittee Ranking Member Ed Pastor, barring the Secretary from implementing the CHU directive. It is clear members from both sides of the aisle are concerned about how the CHU memorandum will be implemented. Hopefully, today's discussions will continue the debate and enhance the committee's ability to exercise its oversight authority on this important public power issue. In conclusion, Arizona has strong and innovative leaders. Working together, we have found a number of solutions that will put Arizonans back to work. Arizona can be a national model for economic recovery, driven by sustainable resource development. The federal government just needs to get out of the way. And I thank the chairman for allowing me to speak.
You're very welcome.